So we need to thank God for that. I will remove my thing, and I want to start by recognizing the country representative for the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights, our brother. You know, his name is like a Ugandan name. But when he's speaking, he moves away from Uganda and wants to go to West Africa. I also want to recognize the representative of the chairperson of Uganda Human Rights Commission. I recognize my brother and young brother, RCC. I've been with him for some other assignments, and I was happy to see him here. The mayor in Abushensa, he apologized, he has gone for some other assignment. The Albinism community, I want to recognize you. The chairperson of the National Council and the team we are moved with. Other development partners, our own Honorable Lira for always being with these people. And it, I was asking why the other one was Mr. Brown. So they told me in Sudan, he was the most brown. So you can see the MC. I was asking why he was brown but was black here. So they told me in Sudan he was the most brown person. So Honorable Lira is the most brownest person among the Albinism family. He's always with them. So you get to identify him. The government official present and all other dignitaries, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I want to greet you in the name of the Almighty God. And I want to start by saying this function was supposed to be officiated by the Vice President of Uganda, Honorable Jessica Lupo. She's aware about this function. She sends her greetings. And when we were in Kapchora, she officially wrote to me and said, go and represent me. You know, when you invite a vice president, cannot just come and become a guest of honor. You have to get protocol. So she's with you, but because of the assignments that the president has taken her to Karamoja, she has not been able to be here. Please receive her applications and we congratulate her for having accepted to be with us. I also want to bring the greetings from my senior minister and other ministers in the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development. My senior minister is aware of this function, and she's the one who has okayed for us to sign the National Action Plan symbolically, but we shall have a forum where we need to get other people to see us. Here we are still talking to ourselves. So on that action plan in some room, side, and we all appreciate that we have agreed this is the National Action Plan for people living with albinism. Ladies and gentlemen, the International Albinism Awareness Day is a global day that aims at advancing rights of persons with disability while calling on action for voice of persons with albinism to be heard. On 18 December 2014, the United Nations General Assembly adopted a resolution proclaiming 13th June with effect from 2015 as the International Albinism Awareness Day in an effort to stop the brutalities against people with albinism. Therefore, this June 13, 2022 will mark the 8th International Albinism Awareness Day, an event aimed at ending violence and discrimination against people with albinism. I want to say here, as we celebrate here, I want to caution the people with albinism. Today is the day of albinism, but should not be the end of advocacy. I want as a minister for you to disturb, not disturbing, but keep reminding us that we have this and this throughout the year. We should be having now a plan that in June we were in Lira, but after Lira, this is what we did, so that next June 13th, we shall give a report of what was done. I don't enjoy coming here to sit. And the reason I came here and asked for these children, I said, why did they come here and they are not singing? Why don't they participate? You know, Christmas is about happiness. And people have to dance, eat, and drink. I don't know which drink you drink as people with albinism. But in Lango here, I think there's some Kongo Lango. But I don't think the children should drink Kongo Lango. They can drink something else. So but that's when you know that you are celebrating. So I hope the organizers will check that next time. Albinism is a rare, non-contagious, genetically inherited with causes of lack of pigmentation, and I think my sister Oliver really talked about this, and we recognize that at a certain point, some people thought that albinism, when you kill one of them, you can get riches. And this was done in Tanzania. It even had to call in for the government of Tanzania to have a member of parliament representing people with albinism to try to advocate and say these are human beings like any other persons. Ladies and gentlemen, the global theme for this year is United in Making Our Voices Heard. Aligns with the objective of the second Global Disability Summit 2022, raise global attention and focus on the neglected area, and bring new voices and approach to broaden engagement. It also echoes the spirit with which the Sustainable Development Goals were created of leaving no one behind, which aims at giving a voice and agency to marginalized groups who are at risk of being overlooked in the implementation of the SDGs. Madam Namtebi said, I was happy to see one person with a wheelchair. I will ask my brothers and sisters in the family of albinism, you need to work with everybody. I can talk for deaf people when I'm not deaf because I have been in their life. I know what they want, and when I get to a workshop, I say, where is the interpreter? I need you to bring us to book. Let's not, if you talk about stigma, I know you could destigmatize yourselves, but it's high time you demonstrate from yourself. The fight for recognition for your rights starts with you, the individual. It does not need another person to talk for your rights. Even if you are 2 or 3, and people will see you moving every day, they will say, but what are those people who look like Bazungu doing around here? And people will begin taking concern to know who you are. So I need you to be firm. We thank our partner, the Office of the Human Rights Commission, who supports you so much. But how do we move on? Tomorrow they will live here. How do we continue? So please get up and fight your cause. Ladies and gentlemen, Uganda ratified the UN Convention on the Rights of People with Disabilities 2008, and it provided a broader framework for support to people with albinism. And this convention, of course, the government of Uganda ratified and also signed the optional protocol. I want to recognize here that as a country, we want to agree that we have identified persons with disabilities as human beings first, and then as people with disabilities. That's why they are in our act. And also, in the new act where we are talking about denying the traditional healers carrying parts of bodies, I think that's also a law in the Parliament of Uganda which has been signed by His Excellency. Anybody got with any part of a human being moving around will be apprehended and the law will take its course. So the urgent needs we need to identify for people with disabilities, the implementation of the National Action Plan is one thing, signing it, but how are we going to implement? So I want to call upon all our partners, all the people who are going to support us, to ensure this action plan is put into full force. And I think that's when people like Lira will rest and say, wow, I've seen my things beginning to move. We also want to advocate for the inclusion of sunscreen on the National Essential Drugs list. We are aware that at least we fought for it to be removed from taxes. Now we need to bring it to the National Drug List. Some people think this is just Vaseline, but it's a very important item in the life of a person with albinism. We also want to believe that we need to get the data. How many people with albinism? In your report, you said about 1,200, but I think Uganda Bureau of Statistics should be able to disaggregate people according to their disabilities. Because sometimes we are blanketed and they say 12.4 people in Uganda are disabled. But how many are people with albinism? And this is a task that we shall again try to take on as government and see that we can get the real statistics. That's when we can do proper planning for people with albinism. I also want to report to this gathering that the government of Uganda came up with a national special grant for persons with disabilities. And in this grant, we support people without discrimination of their disability. And we always ask people between 5 to 15 to make a group of their own and be able to get some money, at least at 5 million as a maximum. And this is a grant from the government of Uganda. And I thought you'd clap for that. Even if you have not got it, please, you will get. I have already directed my department to specifically look for people with albinism to benefit. They are not going to force the project on you. You come with the project, come with your proposals, and they will have to fund that group as far as you are being cleared by the different districts. We are also moving to the parish development model. And in the parish development model, persons with disabilities have been allocated 10% of the funds that will be at the parish model. And for me, this will be almost the biggest fund we have had as people with disabilities, because 10% of the 100 million will be around 10 million times 10,570 something parishes. That will be a very big boost, and we need to take advantage of that money and see that we benefit and make our lives better and move from our poverty levels that the chairman talked about to something else and be better off. We also know there's a Myoga program. The Myoga program is running on every constituency in Uganda. And every constituency in Uganda has got 30 million for people with disabilities. And this 30 million does not again discriminate people with albinism. Again, I ask you, please take charge of that. I have heard, though not yet confirmed, that the policy on special needs education at last has got out of the Ministry of Education, because we have been pushing for this. It is now moving. It has already been cleared. A certificate of financial implication has been granted. Now it has moved to our Secretariat of Cabinet. I want to assure you, when it arrives in Cabinet, we shall still fight for it and ensure that it is cleared by His Excellency and becomes operated to help us get to special needs education. We have also worked on the regulations for the Act for people with disabilities. We are only waiting for the Solicitor General to clear us, and these regulations will be on. Ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, allow me to thank the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights for the support they have rendered towards the advancement of persons living with albinism. You know, it's not always being a donor, you usually sit behind, but this donor, he pushes, says, but this is like this. I think this is good. We want to thank you. They have supported the involvement of the National Action Plan on Albinism, and I want to pledge continuous government support towards the implementation of this plan. I further extend my gratitude to all organizations working with people with disabilities, people with albinism themselves, other people who are not living with albinism but associate with them. I want to appreciate your efforts. And I think we shall continue fighting until one day people with albinism will come out. Before I conclude to go to the action plan, I want to thank the children. Let's clap for the children. Let me thank. I also thank for my brother who came from DRC but a refugee in Uganda. That we thank you for that good voice, and please build that voice better. I remember you participated on the beauty contest? The beauty pageant, you were there. Though you did not win, don't leave it out. I think they are going to continue with it and we want to bring you on board. I want to pledge that the few children who are here, if the Day of the Disabled is not celebrated in State House, if we are in Kololo, the teachers, I hope it's a school, the teachers will organize those children. I personally will facilitate them to come to that venue with a very good song. You make them be so lively, a good song, and I'm sure that they will sing before His Excellency the President, so that he sees that we have these children there. Sometimes my president is very funny. He says, you know, polio ended in a minute's time. But I tell him we are still there. So I want him to see the children that they are even now here. So that we can, when I talk about sunscreen, I talk about people believe in seeing. And that's when they can act. So I think we need to bring the children on board. Even the picture I've got today, I'm going to send to the VP tonight and show her that I saw the children we were supposed to have seen. So that is the role of Adiboka. So the school, we shall be in touch, and my department, this is already a directive. I will think these children will have to come and participate. That is if we are not in State House. Thank you so much. Now I want to take this opportunity to officially launch the National Action Plan on Albinism in Uganda. I say all this for God and my country.